I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the Geico restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
We put 3/4 of the Goat Locker Racing summer season in the books, and rounding out the penultimate week of competition is round 7 of the Invets Sunday Truck Series. As always, our sponsors. The Sunday Truck Series is sponsored by Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. By Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And by Save 22, awareness is the answer. For everyone here at V-Speed, my name is Jacob Blanky. I'm here alongside the instigator, Ken Huber, and Timothy Jones is on production.
The instigator. I'm glad to be here with you, Jacob and Tim. Looking forward. We're here at Portland. We're doing some road course racing tonight. I'm really looking forward to this one here back in some of my home area back in Washington and Oregon. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching these trucks get around. And you mentioned we're 3/4 into this season, Jacob. You know, we got our, well, here's our point standings. I'll let you talk about our point standings, but Mark Whitley's up there on top.
Yeah, the points fight has been close these past couple of weeks with Joseph McWhorter pulling it back from a few setbacks earlier on in the season. Mark Whitley's got a 40-point gap to Barrett Morton in second. Logan Threlkeld has been pulling it back here as well, and I think this might be a very strong. This week might be a very strong statement for Threlkeld to pull it back for the final race.
I agree. Threlkeld has been very fast in practices. They're getting qualifying underway right now, but been super fast under practice, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do tonight, see if he can get a second win on the season. But yeah, Mark Whitley, somebody's got to do with him only with 2 races left. Matter of fact, you know, looking at the schedule, as you mentioned, we're 3/4 of the way into this schedule, and next week we get our final track, and that's going to be in Fontana, California for the big one to close out this summer series in the truck.
Yes, sir. But this week we're focused on the now. With its debut on the Goat Locker Racing calendar, the Portland International Raceway has been a highly anticipated stop on the schedule. 12 turns over 1.967 miles will put everybody through their paces. It should be quite the arm workout.
The arm workout. Yeah, these trucks are going to be slipping, sliding. As you look at that track map there, that first set of corners there is a doozy. So these trucks are going to be slip sliding all over the place. It's going to be fun to watch. I think we got a small field, but it sure won't be short on excitement. So as we look at the track map again there, that first couple of corners there, you slip and slide around, getting the truck around. And then you go into the backstretch, which is going to be another interesting point to watch back there where that lake is, or that slough. You can't really stand on the gas. It's kind of like a straightaway, but you can't really get up on full throttle, especially in that kink there. So these guys are going to be having their hands full tonight with these trucks.
Yes, sir. First and only road course that we're visiting here in the Sunday Trucks schedule.
Yep.
I think a lot of people have looked forward to having a change of pace from the ovals that we've been running. We've run a lot of smaller ovals, a few 1.5 miles, and we're getting to the other 2+ mile track next week. But this is the black sheep. This is the standout among everything. As we're taking a look at qualifying here, Joseph McWhorter on his out lap.
Yeah, and you can see him trying to get through the corners here. I'm trying to figure out where he's on the track. So he's just finished corner 5 here, and as he's actually headed down turn 8 here, going into the backstretch. This is the point where I was talking about. You got to be really careful on the throttle here, and then his hard braking zone here into 9 into 10. So 9 and 10 is very tricky. You see, he gets the truck sideways, goes across the curbs there, and then he's going into the final corner here, turn 12, and that's going to bring him up onto the front stretch and see what kind of time he ekes out here. And these guys do have 10 minutes of qualifying. So normally we have 2 laps. It's still 2 laps, but they'll have a full 10 minutes tonight. So usually we only have 5 minutes. So we're going to be talking to each other quite a bit more tonight there, Jacob.
Yep, a lot of observing from the field that's going to be out here tonight. As at this current moment, it looks like Joseph McWhorter was a little over 3/10 short of the mark set by his teammate and our current points leader, Mark Whitley, in the 74.
Yeah, it'd be interesting when Logan Threlkeld gets out on the track because he was turning some really hot laps during practice. So be interesting to see what kind of laps he turns right now with Mark Whitley sitting on that point position with a 15.6, a 1:15.6, just smoking. He's getting his second lap in as we're watching him take the second lap. Here we got his teammate here. I believe this is this is Whitley. So Whitley's on the point, and so you see what he's going to get on the second lap here. I kind of believe it's going to be a little bit slower. It seems like the tires are good for about 1 lap. He can get a really strong lap in, but we'll see what he does.
Whitley on a flyer right now, crossing the start-finish line, putting on a 1:15.39, which only puts him a little bit further ahead in the current standings that we've got set right now.
And you can watch his competition just sink in the seats as he puts that time down. It's like, oh man, how are we going to get to him? I'm curious. Let's see. I'm wondering if Logan Threlkeld has made it out to the track yet. And yeah, he's just now on the track. So I think he's getting his first lap in here, coming around the final corner here. I believe this might be the first of 2. Yeah, he hasn't put down a time yet, so we'll see what he gets this time. I don't know. I didn't see him with the 15.3 during practice. We'll see if he can squeeze that out here during qualifying. And he gets up to almost a 16 flat. 3rd place right now. He's got another lap to get it done as he goes through 1 and 2 here. He's got to be really careful as he comes up to turn 3 and then 4 and 5. And 4 and 5 up here is like a triple apex. So it's 2 corners, but it's almost 3 apexes. 1, 2 right here, and then a 3rd one right there. And then you got a sharp left-hander coming up that opens back up right here. You'll see him go here. It's really sharp. And then this corner opens right up, and then they go towards turn 7, which is what I call the cheap seats. So there's a grandstand out there where these guys really can't see a whole bunch of racing. You just caught a little peek of it there, but those are the cheap seats. Now he's going into turn 8. Can't quite get all the way on the throttle here. It's very sketchy. And now he can probably get all the way on the throttle. And then he's going to hard on the brakes about the 400 mark. Then he's hard on the brakes here for 9 and 10. And so far, nice and clean. And as he's coming up to the final corner here, this is turn 12 going on the front stretch. And you can see the old drag strip right here. Back up on the straightaway, the drag strip, and he's away. Let's see what he's got.
Is it good enough to make up the 7/10 gap to Mark Whitley?
Not quite.
It looks like there's just a marginal increase of about a 100th there. So it looks like Logan Threlkeld's going to park it for now.
Yeah, there's one thing you could say is at least he's consistent. So we still got about 3.5 minutes left in qualifying, and it looks like got one last truck out there, Corin Smith. She's out there in that 10 truck trying to get her lap in, and so far she hasn't completed a lap yet. So she's entering the final corner here, going on the front stretch. Let's see if she's got anything for these guys.
Across the start-finish line. Let's see if the time comes in. It does not look like there has been a time logged on that one. There might have been some sort of there might have been an issue with either pit exit or something like that, because she's got a black flag at the moment. But she might just be getting some track practice in. I noticed that they had joined a little late, so they might just be wanting to get a feel for the track before they get out there.
Yeah, and and she just spun out. So she isn't going to be able to get a qualifying time in. I think that's pretty much wrapping up qualifying. I don't see anybody else on the track. So there you have it. It looks like Mark Whitley might come away with the pole position here.
All right, and before we get into the excitement that is the PIR race here in the Invets Summer Series, let's talk a little bit about our organization and our Warrior Spotlight for Alexander Sexauer. Alexander served in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years as a field radio operator. He deployed to Syria as part of Operation Inherent Resolve and is also the recipient of Goat Locker's 10th donated sim rig. We're proud to have Alexander as part of the GLR family. And it has been really good to see him getting out on track, getting into the GT3 series that we've been putting on over the summer, and look forward to seeing him a little more in the fall.
Absolutely. Welcome aboard there, Alex. Yeah. So, Logan, Jacob, man, I'm having a hard time with names lately. I don't know what it is, but so what do you think about this road course? I heard that you might have just bought this.
Yeah, this is really my first time taking a look at it. What interests me the most is a lot of the other road courses that we see on most schedules have some level of elevation change. But you educated me on this while we were going through our pre-race and just looking at the truckster in practice. There's no elevation change here.
No,
Like
not really.
a lot of these corners are just straight flat corners, and the only change to them is the curbing.
Yeah, another interesting note is tonight they're using the Watkins Glen setup. So this is fixed setup. So they're using the Watkins Glen setup, which we talked about pre-race, which also is adding another factor into it. But we are running fixed setup, so everybody's running the same setup. I got a chance to go out there and practice with this setup, and it's actually pretty decent. It's got some tough spots, but overall, I think it's going to offer some pretty competitive racing tonight.
Yep, this one is going to boil down a lot more because it's a new track and it's a road course. It's going to boil down to fundamentals, I would think. A lot of these guys have raced a majority of the seasons with the ovals and everything in the trucks and all the other series that they've ran. If they haven't run a lot of road or they don't have a lot of road experience, the gap is going to be pretty obvious here.
Yeah. I think so. Why don't, if we can we bring up the race facts for tonight before we bring up our starting grid and we can talk about it? So here we have it, 40 laps, almost a 2-mile track. So we'll have 40 laps to get it done. Cautions are on tonight, so that'll be another factor for tonight. That's going to stack the trucks back up if we do have any cautions. Pit road speeds, 40 miles an hour. They get 4 tire sets. 2 green-white checkered attempts, 65% fuel, and as I mentioned previously, everybody's running the same Watkins Glen setup. So there you have it.
And as we take you to our starting grid, the familiar name at the top, the man to beat, Mark Whitley, is your Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner. And he's got Joseph McWhorter going to be starting in the second position. Logan Threlkeld in the 69 puts it P3. Tyler Justice in the 33 machine puts it P4. Row 3 is going to be made up of Eldon Stewart and Brandon Wallace. Row 4 will be Lucas Lyons and Mark Cofield, a couple of Bandits machines there. Joshua O'Connor in 9th, and Jamie Lipke rounds out your top 10 in that 16 machine. Sean Kaiser in the 88 qualifies 11th, with Doug Macedo in the 173 and 12th. Charles Abert, not setting a time in qualifying, is 13th, and rounding out your field for tonight is Corinne Smith.
Well, there you have it. We have about a 14-car field. The pace truck has rolled off and is taking these guys around the track, these ladies and gentlemen, I should say. And as they go through turn 1 and 2 here. So these guys are thinking about it, about positions that they can make. I can tell you another tricky spot here tonight, Jacob, is coming into the first corner. Actually, it's actually really hard to see your braking zone. There's some number markers there on the front stretch, but they kind of blend in with the fencing. And I think, we were watching during practice, a lot of guys blowing that first corner, and there's a big time penalty if you cut the course there, because while you might not wreck the truck there, it's very easy to cut the course.
Yep, that first chicane there reminds me a lot of the front straight at Monza, the way it's set up with that 90-degree right turn into the sweeping left back onto into the first corner. So I think a lot of the guys with like GT3 and road experience are going to have a little more. This section that you called the cheap seats with the grandstand back here is going to intrigue me a lot as well, because you got the S's up here exiting like onto that long straightaway once they get up here.
Yeah, this long straightaway is no joke, especially right here where they're at. Truck gets really slippery here. I'm going to talk about it probably a lot tonight, but when these guys get side by side here and they're trying to get the throttle down, you can see two trucks kind of drifting through here trying to get around each other. It's probably the best passing zone on the track.
Yep. Pace truck taking them.
Yeah, sorry about that. As we wind up going in here to turn 9, we got a couple more corners and we're going to turn them loose on the green flag. They're going to go up on the drag strip here, and that's when we'll send them to the green flag here in the final couple corners. Get ready for some road racing in the Craftsman Truck Series at Goatlocker.
Yep. Pace truck getting ready to pull itself off of the racing surface. We get onto the drag strip. 2 by 2 lined up, and we are rolling. Green flag at PIR.
That was exciting. That was an exciting start. Look at him go right here, going into turn 1. Getting to the outside there. Logan Threlkeld trying to dive it in. Oh, and he cutting the course right there. That's what I'm talking about. Huge, but Logan Threlkeld is in the lead. We got a wreck just behind him.
Yep, large pile up, multiple trucks involved. Lucas Lyons still off the track as Logan Threlkeld pulls away from the lead group here.
Yeah, and Logan Threlkeld, he was fastest in practice. Now he's leading these guys, and it surely isn't what Mark Whitley and Joseph McWhorter wanted to see.
Absolutely not. Eldon Stewart has made his way to P2. Mark Whitley settling in P3. Joseph McWhorter P4. Lucas Lyons still trying to get a handle on that truck in P5.
Yeah, Eldon Stewart under all kinds of pressure right now with Mark Whitley right behind him. And you can see Eldon Stewart in that one truck, and they're on this straightaway, which isn't really straight. It's got a half bend, and the truck gets really light here, and you can see Whitley trying to make a move on him here.
He pulls to the outside, moving to the curb section of the corner. Almost got to the quarter panel of the 1. Tried to switch it back. Nothing doing. They're going to be exiting onto the front straightaway here. Logan Threlkeld having gone wide, and everybody past him now.
Yeah, well, there goes Logan Threlkeld's chance. And I was thinking to myself that Whitley was doing his best to get around that one truck, trying not to let Logan get too far ahead. And now he finds himself side by side, battling for the lead with the one truck of Eldon Stewart.
Whitley having taken the preferred line into that first corner there, but he was a little too far to the inside. Eldon Stewart getting a better exit out of the corner. McWhorter following suit, and the 74 trying to chase him down.
Yeah, 74 truck was putting all kinds of pressure on the 1. The 72 truck just behind him, watching to see how things play out. Truck got really sketchy there. Oh, Whitley gets really sideways there, able to hang on to it. Teammate backed off, thankfully, and we keep it clean and green.
Yep, got his nose in there, righted the ship a little bit as Lucas Lyons is trying to chase down the 72 now.
As they go through the cheap seats here, still single file here, see if they can get on the power here, see if anybody's going to make a move on this backstretch here. Really sketchy. You can see that blue truck there, the 72 of McWhorter, get a little sideways. He lost all kinds of time. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's so hard to get the power down.
Yep, McWhorter pushing a little wide through that sweeping corner there. Lyons almost made a move, but decided to back off and die another day. Eldon Stewart off the track. The 74 is pushing to the lead now. Mark Whitley to the top.
This is going to be musical chairs tonight. Boy, everybody's changing positions. I was watching another battle there. Lucas Lyons, I was going to mention him, as we got another battle for the a position here with the 33 truck of Tyler Justice and the one trying to get around the 1. Can't do it. That's going to let Threlkeld get by on the inside, and that 69 truck try to get back up to the lead there.
1 just trying to stop the bleeding, gets into the 1 truck. The 33 machine gets into the side of the 1, turns him around. It looked like you forced him wide earlier, and that might have been a little bit of payback.
Yeah, and he's off in the golf course now. I think no harm, no foul, but he's going to have to get that truck back out on the track safely and try to get some speed out of it, we go back to the replay and see exactly what happened. You can see the 33 just gets into the back of him there, and then that one truck goes sliding off into the grass, and he's probably going to have to let the rest of the field go by as he does a safe rejoin there.
Oh! Almost almost a safe rejoin as the 88 of Sean Kaiser barely missed the turning one of the Eldon Stewart machine.
Gonna have to say maybe an unsafe rejoin. Maybe that's the proper language. I was sitting here. I was mountain climbing today there, Jacob, and I was dealing with some cramps earlier. Man, it was the most painful thing. Not that everybody wants to know my life story, but sitting in here in my race seat with no way to get out of it while we're talking here was about the most excruciating thing I've had to do in a while.
Oh. As we're taking a look at the 5th position runner, Tyler Justice, trying to get the position back from Logan Threlkeld that he had lost previously during that battle with Eldon Stewart. We're starting to see everybody kind of string out a little bit.
And Threlkeld back up to that 4th position as we look at his truck there, that green and 69 truck, trying to get back up to 3rd or get back up to 2nd actually, looking at McWhorter just in front of him there. So McWhorter kind of been struggling a little bit with the rear end of that truck. We seen him there going through turn 8, going through the cheap seats. Now he locks up a tire there. Now we're moving up to the lead there, but McWhorter kind of struggling with this track tonight.
It looks like he's holding on to it pretty well from where I'm looking. He's sitting P2, running behind the number 74 Whitley for the lead. It doesn't, gets onto the grass there a little bit. I think he's just trying to manage expectations here. It's a new track. Everybody is just trying to get a little more practice with it before they try and buckle down and make that run toward the front.
Yeah, speaking of that, McWhorter, I was wrong about that. I meant Lucas Lyons. So Lucas Lyons is just there ahead of Threlkeld. And what I wanted to mention about Lucas Lyons, I almost have a feeling that he bought this track tonight. Well, he actually bought it this week. And he came out here in practice, and it seemed like that was really his first laps during practice. But, he slip sliding it around. He was the one that was struggling, and that I accidentally blamed McWhorter for doing. But he's actually doing great in 3rd place for not having that much seat time this track.
Yep, and that statement that I made at the beginning where it's going to boil down to fundamentals has really played out in the favor of Lucas Lyons, as he was a little bit further back at the beginning, made that lunge at the front, took his penalty, he was able to back it down a little bit more, but he's still running in the top 3 spots.
Yeah. And so we'll see if Logan Threlkeld can get around him. But Lucas Lyons, every lap that Lucas puts in, he's getting a little bit stronger. So he seems to be a very fast learner. I raced him the other night on the Friday night series, and I believe he finished 2nd. So he was smoking that night in the GT3 series. Got lucky with a little bit of rain, but had a good finish.
Yes, sir. Pulling it back onto the front straightaway. Lucas Lyons running 3rd. Logan Threlkeld running 4th. Tyler Justice running 5th. Mark Cofield in 6th. Brandon Wallace 7th. Jamie Libke 16 in 8th position. Eldon Stewart back up to 9th. And Sean Kaiser in the 88, rounding out your top 10 for now.
Yeah, and I thought Lucas Lyons is starting to open it up a little bit on Logan Threlkeld. And Threlkeld might be kind of backing down and kind of figured out he might have been overdriving and trying to reset that truck. Now he's closing back in as they go through 4 and 5 here, getting ready to make this left-hander towards the cheap seats, putting all kinds of pressure back on Lucas. And you can see Lucas getting that 17 truck a little sideways there. Logan looking to the inside, can't quite get it done. Lucas holds on to it. They go through this corner here. It's very tight here. You almost want to go to first gear, but if you do, you almost roast the tires coming off. As they go through this tricky turn 8 here, truck is very loose. Let's see if Logan has anything for him out here as he goes to the outside.
Threlkeld taking a super aggressive line here. He's going to think better of it. Tuck back in behind the 17 as they get into the corner.
Yep, a chance to reset as they go through the final 2 corners here. This is turn 12, going back onto the front stretch here. That truck gets a little free here as well, but these guys are doing a great job of holding on to it.
Yep, the top spot is broken out to about an 0.8 of a second lead over P2. P3, 3.5 seconds behind. That's Lucas Lyons. We're watching this battle here as we see Threlkeld nearly hop the curbing.
Yeah, I think Threlkeld, he's probably trying to find that speed he had during practice. He led that race, got that first lap, but I don't actually think he led that first lap. And so he's trying to get it back, but Lucas Lyons doing everything he can to stay in front of him, doing a great job, actually. This is where Lucas Lyons has been a little fragile through here, and let's see if Threlkeld can get back up to him.
Yep, Logan has definitely put a little more thought into the line that he's wanting to run, gets a little free on the exit of the corner there, wraps it back around, and he's going to try and make up that ground that he lost momentarily.
Well, we're cooking through some laps right now. We're at lap 7, getting ready to hit lap 8. In my testing, it looks like the pit window is about 21 to 23 laps. So these guys will only have to make one stop, but it's pretty much going to be universal for everybody. Everybody's probably going to be on pit lane around the same time unless we get a caution, which will change everything.
Yep, we see Sean Kaiser trying to fight back to get the 10th spot away from Eldon Stewart, who was at the beginning of this race. He was further up to the front with that move that Lucas Lyons made, kind of threw a wrench in a lot of people's plans for this race. And he ended up on the back foot later on.
Yeah, we had the 77 truck just now. I think it's actually the 173 at Douglas. Yeah, it is. Douglas Macedo spun it around in turns 1 and 2, and everybody had to go around him. He just got it recovered, got back on the track. So almost a big oops for everybody on the track. Everybody had to go around him, kind of split him as they went through 1 and 2.
Yep, he's got that truck back going. He is currently sitting in 13th place, running 1 lap down, but he's keeping it on track. He's keeping it straight, just doing what most everybody else is doing, just trying to learn, get that feel out for the track, and make it to the end in one piece.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious about these pit stops, what the strategy is going to be tonight. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 4 tires and fuel for most of these guys. Mark Whitley and Joseph McWhorter are running 1-2 right now, kind of in each other's tire tracks. Kind of got this battle sorted out. The gap really hasn't changed, about 0.8 of a second each lap. Just kind of running in each other's tire tracks. It's kind of, we've seen this a lot this season with these two guys.
Yep, they have no intention of racing against anyone else in the field because they've always been so far ahead of the rest of the field. They're just focused on running against each other. Oh, Whitley goes wide, ends up looping it around the corner. McWhorter inherits the lead. Whitley gets back going because he had such a big buffer, but Lyons gets around him for second. Threlkeld, he almost makes contact with Logan Threlkeld in the 69. Whitley going to cycle back out 4th here.
That move that Threlkeld made on the outside there was awesome. He's like, I'm going to get by this guy while I got the chance. I'm just going to go for it. And Threlkeld did a full send to get himself around. So Threlkeld finds himself in 3rd. And meanwhile, Whitley's still struggling back there with the rear end of that truck.
Yep, he might have heated his tires up trying to keep it straight, but unfortunately, if he does not stop the bleeding, he's going to have to deal with the 33 of Tyler Justice.
Yeah, now McWhorter, he doesn't have that teammate to run with. Currently running in 1st right now, his teammate. And that might give a chance for these guys to run back. We're looking at the replay right now. You just seen Threlkeld go around the outside of Whitley, just like, I'm going to do this, and it's going to happen right now.
You know, it takes a lot to try and get around that 74 of Whitley. We've seen it all season, so any opportunity that you are going to get, you need to take to try and get the advantage on that driver.
Lucas Lyons just ahead of Threlkeld, just got a little sideways going through 2, and that allowed Threlkeld to get right behind him as they go into 3 and 4. And let's see if Threlkeld's got anything for him, putting lots of pressure on the rear tailgate of that truck. Lucas Lyons, this is where Lucas Lyons has been a little weak here. The truck has been stepping out right in this corner here. Looks like he's holding it together. Oh, Threlkeld looking on the inside. Again, can't get it done.
Threlkeld continuing to try and put that aggressive line to use. Nothing doing, and it looks like he's going to try and make another move once they get down to the back straight here.
Yeah, Threlkeld, I seen some race chatter, and I think he was apologizing. He didn't mean to make that aggressive move, but I think he sees weakness in that particular set of corners for Lucas Lyons and just trying to get the pass done, because everywhere else they seem to be matched in speed. But that allowed the 74 truck, the 74 truck of Mark Whitley has caught up with Threlkeld now, and is going to start putting pressure on Threlkeld. So he's in a sandwich right now.
What I want to do as Logan Threlkeld is I want to let the 74 by. The 74 has a lot of pace. It's early on in the run. There's a shot that another mistake is going to be made, but if the 74 starts working on the 17, that prompts the 17 to make another mistake. and then you can capitalize and try and get past him.
Yeah, as we were looking at our blimp view there, I was just looking at the 33 truck, that yellow truck back there. Just got a little out of shape there going through 1 and 2. I think we caught it on the blimp cam, but this Tyler Justice back there hanging on to that top 5 right now, doing actually a pretty bang-up job. Probably hoping that these guys in front of him will make more mistakes.
I'm taking a look. We got a little bit of a lockup from the 17 of Lucas Lyons. It looked like there's a little bit of right front damage on the fender of the 33, quite possibly from some earlier contact.
Yeah, or the curb strike. He was hitting those curbs in 1 and 2 really hard, so I wonder if that might have caused the damage as well. So we'll see, but it doesn't look like it's slowing him down too much, and he'll be able to get that repaired on the pit stop, which is coming up in about 10 laps.
Yep, field still running as it has for the past few laps. Joseph McWhorter out to a 4-second lead. Lucas Lyons trying to hold off the 69 Logan Threlkeld. Mark Whitley in 4th. Tyler Justice in 5th.
So just ahead of all these guys as the leaders are coming up, we got Douglas Macedo. He's a couple laps down, just came off pit lane. He's going to be on, there you go. You can see our leader just go by that lap car. And it was looking really sketchy as he was going to pull out in front of all the leaders. So it looks like he's doing the kind thing and letting them by.
Yep, common sense dictates that you give way to the faster truck, especially if you're not racing for the position. He's got the 2nd through 4th drivers coming up on him shortly. They're going to catch him before they hit the back straightaway. And more often than not, I would be inclined to just lay off here and continue to run my race. And it looks like that's what he did.
Yeah. Meanwhile, looking back here at Logan Threlkeld, who we got the camera on right now, him and Lucas Lyons still going at it. Threlkeld back there in that 3rd position, looking for a way to round, maybe cooling those tires back down, as like you said. And just behind them, Mark Whitley's coming back into the picture. It seems like every time Mark Whitley gets up there, though, something happens. So we'll see Mark Whitley can make anything happen in that 74 truck.
Yeah, it looks like Lyons had a little bit of a wide exit onto the front straightaway there. There might have been a little bit of a miscue from Joseph McWhorter because that lead was up to 4 seconds, and we've lost about a half a second there.
Yep, and so well, yeah, Lucas Lyons. Like I said, Lucas Lyons seems to be getting better with age. It's like a fine wine. We'll see if he can keep it up here. Threlkeld definitely wants this position. I know he wants the 2nd win of the season. He was super fast. He's got Whitley behind him. He probably is hoping that McWhorter will make a mistake and come back to him, and maybe he'll just race Lucas Lyons for the win.
Yep, and as we've seen these two battling throughout the race so far, the 17 has been a little bit better on the straightaway sections, whereas the 69 has been pushing it a lot harder in the technical section, and that's kind of evened out. We see the 17 get a little bit of a bobble off of those curbs. You don't want to take too much of those curbs because it starts to unsettle the truck, but the straightaway is definitely where it looks like Lucas Lyons' forte is lying here.
Yeah, and they're in the pucker zone of this track right here with the heavy braking zone. You miss this corner, you're going into the tire barrier, and you can see the 69 truck closing in on the 17 here, but that 74 truck closing in on him. So still, Logan Threlkeld is in the middle of this sandwich here. Got Mark Whitley. I think Mark Whitley is going to start putting some serious pressure on here momentarily.
And all 3 of these trucks still under the proverbial blanket. 1 second between them, and they are not going to stop fighting until they get that decided. Go a little bit further back to take a look at the 97 of Mark Cofield trying to hold off Brandon Wallace as they go into turn 1.
Yeah, this is a battle shaping up here going through 1 and 2. This is kind of a tricky little section of the track, that 99 truck looking for an opening here. They got to be careful coming off this corner. The trucks get really easily sideways here. They go into 3 and 4, this triple apex. See if that 99 truck's got anything, if he can close the distance here. This is where Lucas Lyons was having a little bit of trouble with Threlkeld. And see if these guys have the same situation, but it doesn't look like it.
Looks like Wallace is trying to take a little more of that aggressive line that we were seeing out of Threlkeld to try and get back up to the back bumper of the 97. We're getting up into the cheap seats, that top section there, as we take a look at Corinne Smith on track right now. We got a slow truck on track. That is Joseph O'Connor, who's had a moment, and it's allowed Corinne Smith make that pass for 11.
Yeah, meanwhile, back to the battle for second is still hot right now. Lucas Lyons still leading him. Logan Threlkeld just behind him, and we got the camera on him. And then Whitley just behind those two. Oh,
Oh!
Threlkeld totally sideways, hard on the binders.
Oh,
Still
no!
sideways. Oh.
Got into the back of the 17, and it looks like almost all three of them have been unsettled by that. Mark Whitley's going to take this opportunity to try and pounce on both of them.
And this is what you got to do. You got to take advantage of those mistakes. But Whitley couldn't quite get nothing done on that 69. And 69 is going to have to change his drawers after this race because that was a wild moment right there. Oh, on the inside. Inside of Lucas Lyons. He's going to get, this is where Lucas has been weak all night. But Lucas has got the advantage here going into the cheap seats. But Threlkeld is going to throw the hammer down if he can. You see the truck get a little wishy-washy here. Oh, this is crazy. This is a great battle side by side. This is the trickiest part of the track. High speed, no rear grip. Whitley just trying to find a way just behind him. Can't do it as they go into 9 and 10 here. Oh, Threlkeld looks like he's going to have the advantage.
Logan Threlkeld just barely not clear on the 17 of Lyons through that corner. Had the quarter panel on the nose there. Lyons a little loose getting out of that corner to the exiting onto the front straightaway, and Mark Whitley is going to tuck back in behind. Position change, 69 to the second spot, and that's cost him a second to McWhorter.
And you can see Whitley looking to the inside of Lucas Lyons now, smelling fresh meat after all that. Probably Lucas Lyons is the one that's going to have to change his drawers now too, because Logan Threlkeld pulled no punches on those passes. That was pretty awesome racing there. But Whitley's going to put the pressure on Lucas Lyons now, see if he's got anything. We're riding along with Lucas right now as he goes through, following Logan Threlkeld. Currently sitting in that third, making this sharp left-hander that opens up, headed towards the cheap seats right now.
Yep, keeping looking at his hand movements. He's making the minor corrections to try and keep it straight, like make sure that he's been hitting his exit points as they rotate through and onto this long back straightaway here. Logan Threlkeld is starting to step out a little bit, and Lucas Lyons has the 74 breathing down his neck once again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So we're a few laps away from pit, so I'm sure these guys are going to be screaming. But Whitley all over the back of Lucas Lyons right now as they go through the final couple of corners onto the straight stretch here. It's going to be hard to get the momentum off here. You can see Whitley all kinds of sideways trying to get around Lucas Lyons. Doesn't have the run. This is going to be interesting as they go into one hard braking zone here.
Whitley's going to make that move to the inside of 17. Lucas Lyons thinks better of it. Thought he was going to set it in there on the brakes, but nothing doing as they straighten back out into the technical section.
So I want to bring up something here with the second place guy, Logan Threlkeld. So he was 5.5 seconds behind our leader, Joseph McWhorter, the last lap. And this past lap, he's only 5 seconds. He made up a half a second and still closing. He's a full second caught up to McWhorter in a lap and a half.
Yep, Logan Threlkeld putting this track through its paces, as it looks like he's just barely keeps it straight as he almost loops it through that corner there. Lucas Lyons still fighting off the 74. This battle for the second spot is not over yet.
No, and I think what Lucas is finding out is, being that he's fairly new to the track, that he's probably got those rear tires super hot because he was slip sliding this thing around the first part of this race. So those tires are probably super hot. But he's doing a bang-up job of holding off Whitley at the moment. Whitley a little sideways, getting onto the straight stretch here.
Yep, Lucas Lyons' best point on the track so far that I have seen is exiting turn 12 onto that front straightaway. He gets so much of a better exit than the other two that he's been running against, and that's helped him either keep position or gain on the others. As we were taking a look at Jamie Libke fighting for position, has got past the 99 of Brandon Wallace, and they're going to start tracking down Tyler Justice, who is a little under 16 seconds up the road to try and fight for fifth.
Yeah, and Tyler Justice is the one we talked about earlier in that yellow 33 truck. He's got a slight bit amount of damage here. We are lap 18, so we're about 3 laps away from these guys making pit stop. He'll be able to get that damage fixed, get back out there, and maybe he'll be able to run some of these guys down, maybe get into the top 3. Meanwhile, we're looking at this battle with the 74 truck. Mark Whitley putting pressure back on Lucas Lyons. Crazy part of the track, turn 8. I talk about it all the time. See if Whitley's got anything for him, but Lucas has been strong here. This is one of the stronger points of the track, and you can see him actually catch up to Threlkeld. Threlkeld seems to be slowing down here a little bit off the pace on that straightaway, but Lucas Lyons now back up to the back end of Threlkeld.
Yep, he's trying to back it down a little more. We look at Doug Macedo getting out of the way there. Courteous as always, as we see Lucas Lyons once again getting a decent exit off of turn 12 onto the front straightaway, trying to catch back up to the 69.
Yeah, and that gap between Threlkeld and our leader, McWhorter, it's actually stabilized to about 5.5 seconds. So it gained. I thought Threlkeld was running back down, but 1 and 2 is getting exciting. It's been exciting here all night with these guys. They get through here as they head into 3, the triple apex corners here, and Whitley just behind them, just trying to get the power down that rear end of that truck, all kinds of sideways right now.
Mark Whitley knows that he is able to put a lot more into that truck to try and get around the 17 of Lucas Lyons, but Lyons is just fighting back. So, like, it's almost perfect the way these two are battling back and forth. It's the way that Lyons and Threlkeld were fighting before, as we see them exiting into the cheap seats here and onto the back straightaway through the S's here.
Yeah, and you can see Lucas, every time he comes out of the corner, he's a little bit loose on there. We're looking at Whitley right now, just behind him in that 4th position. Can't find a way around either one of these twos. And if I was Threlkeld, I'd tell him to don't watch your mirrors. You need to run down that leader. I think Threlkeld is strong as long as he's not watching that mirror. But I think Lucas Lyons wants to stay on that tailgate, wants him watching that mirror. Oh, there goes Threlkeld and Whitley onto pit lane.
Yep, Joseph McWhorter has also made his pit stop, which means Lucas Lyons is going to inherit the lead for the moment. He's going to take the ownership of this lead lap right now.
Yeah, right at the halfway point at lap 20 here. So these guys want to get some fresh tires on. We can see McWhorter hitting his pit stall, and we got Whitley and Threlkeld just behind them. And we'll see who wins the race off pit lane.
We got all 3 trucks lined up in pit lane right now. McWhorter taking his right sides, getting changed, putting fuel in that truck, peeling out, and he is going to be away.
And that makes sense. He did have a 5-second lead, but let's see if Threlkeld and Whitley can make any time on their pit stops here as they come back around. And they just now exit pit lane.
Yep, Threlkeld comes out ahead of Mark Whitley, the same order as they were running before. However, they've got Sean Kaiser in between the two of them. So they are separated by a truck that is not on. Whoa! Mark Whitley sending it on those fresh tires, trying to get around the 88 of Sean Kaiser as the 69 tries to run away.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's bad luck for those guys to come out in just behind all that lap traffic. But the same thing happened to our leader. Joseph McWhorter came out, had Cofield a lap truck in that 17. That slowed him up a little bit too. So everybody had to pay the price with a little bit of lap traffic coming off pit lane.
And ultimately, with all that lap traffic, the beneficiary of it is going to be Lucas Lyons, who's making his pit stop right now. Let's see how much that held them up and see if he's going to be able to capitalize.
Yeah, if he can get a clean track on this exit, he could be the big winner in this whole pit cycle. Although McWhorter seems to have gained a lot more time on Threlkeld, so he's up to about an 8-second lead, which was 5.5 seconds prior to the pit stop. So he gained some time on that pit stop.
Yep, McWhorter peeling out, getting past. He's able to pass Lyons here. The 69 of Logan Threlkeld now getting challenged into turn 1 by the 74. He's held up by the 10 of Corinne Smith. 74 to his inside. Lucas Lyons comes out right behind this battle. They're side by side through the beginning chicane. Oh, the 74 gets turned by the 17.
Oh, there's going to be some heartburn over that one. Whitley, his second spin of the night, no fault of his, but yeah, got a little love tap there by Lucas Lyons saying, I want this spot on the track. I'm going to go ahead and take it.
Lucas Lyons exits the pit lane, comes out with a head of steam, gets off the curb, and it looks like that was just one move too far. Mark Whitley able to quickly correct, but he is severely disadvantaged, 4 seconds back on Lucas Lyons.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Lucas thought that Whitley was going to go a little bit wider, and so it didn't look like he intentionally took him out. It's just thought he was going to go a little bit wider, and that's a hard place to get woed up. You're trying to get that truck slowed up. It doesn't want to turn. You're on cold tires, so Lucas only had 1 lap on his tires, so he's probably struggling with grip and probably accidentally got into him.
Yep. As much as I hate to say it, when you think about it like that, you need to do whatever you need to do if you're in this points battle to try and advantage yourself over Mark Whitley, and that might have been the decider to pull McWhorter back up into the fight and throw Whitley a bit further back.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, while all this was happening, Jamie Libke in the 16 truck has led a lap here At Portland, as the leader is just behind him. I don't believe Limke has made a pit stop yet, so that's why he's out front. So McWhorter trying to find a way around. Nothing doing so far, and cautions are on for this road course race. So if a caution was to come out, that would put Lipke in a pretty good spot. But I have a feeling he's going to have to come in next time by. That truck's got to be low on gas.
Yep, Jamie Lipke ends up opting to let the 72 of McWhorter inherit the lead once again, and they're falling quickly to the likes of Logan Thrillkill, catching up very much on the back straightaway here with Lucas Lyons in tow.
Yeah, and they've got another 4 seconds to make up compared to prior to the pit stop. So Logan Thrillkeld is going to have to find that speed he had during practice and try to run down McWhorter. And I think he's going to need McWhorter to make a mistake or run into some really bad lap traffic. But everybody's been pretty considerate here tonight. So you can see Thrillkeld gets a little sideways on the exit, but he's got the hammer down, trying to make up some time. He's got Tyler Justice in front of him, who just came off pit lane. So Tyler Justice, I'm trying to figure out if he got that truck fixed or not, but I believe he came off pit lane, and that's going to shake things up.
Yep, Tyler Justice going to pull back out, inherit the 5th spot from Jamie Lipke as they pull into the pit lane. Speaking of which, Jamie Lipke, I don't know if you knew this, they have run in every series that we have put together here for the summer here in Goat Locker. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yep, they're trying as much as they can to run every series, as many series as possible. And leading into that, with the summer series we're about to come to a close with the summer series. This is week 7 of 8. We're gonna be gearing up for the fall series here. The fall series, the only difference between what we got right now is we're gonna have a 15-week season. Biggest talking point about it: 7 series, 1 for every day of the week. So from the end of August through the end of December, there's going to be a race every day in Goat Locker. And we're looking for drivers. We're looking for people to come join this community and run with us, help us learn a lot more about help us learn how to a lot more about racing, a lot more about maybe teaching me how to talk a little better on broadcast. I wouldn't be too upset about that. And help us.
You're pretty awesome there, Jacob. So I don't think you have anything to worry about there.
Yeah, just help us spread the word about Goat Locker and the mission that it's putting forth right now. We've got 10 sim rigs that we've given out to disabled veterans in the Indiana area, and we're gearing up to put out quite a few more over the last few months of the season. Logan Thrillkill getting loose, and the 17 of Lucas Lyons taking that second position away from him.
Yeah, when you were done there, I was going to talk about Thrillkeld. Thrillkeld was really putting the hammer down. He'd actually made up a little bit of time. I was wondering, if McWhorter was saving tires and Thrillkeld was just putting the hammer down, because he was making time up on the leader. But that's a big setback, and that allows Lucas Lyons to get ahead of him there. So Lucas Lyons back in that second position, and it's got quite a gap now on Thrillkeld.
Yep, about 3 seconds between Lyons and Thrillkill now, and that link on your screen right now is going to take you straight to the website. You're going to have a little bit of a form to fill out, and you'll be able to get access to the Discord, come hang out with all of us, and help us get ready for the fall series coming up.
Well, I have a feeling by the time, look forward to everybody showing up to Goat Locker Racing. It is a blast. I'm fairly new to it myself. Thrillkeld just about threw it off the track again, saves it, but it was close for Thrillkeld. We're back up to the 72 truck of McWhorter.
Yeah, McWhorter's still off to a 6-second lead. It looks like we got another truck back there. That's Doug Basato off track again. All right, let's talk a little bit more about our sponsors. All right, Invets, founded by veterans for veterans, aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit here in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They're the title sponsor of the Sunday Truck Series and a major partner of Goat Locker Racing. We are very glad to have Invets on board.
Absolutely. Back to our leader, McWhorter got about a 6.5 second lead on Lucas Lyons back there in second place. So kind of dominating right now. Ever since that self spin by Whitley early in this race, McWhorter has just about led all of it.
Yeah, McWhorter stepped out with a 5-second lead before the pit stops, came out with a 6-second lead. So he has been on the hammer every single step of the way, capitalizing on the mistakes made by others, and the top three is the top five really have put themselves in positions to make sure that they are solidified when we get to the end here.
Yeah, speaking of the top five, Mark Whitley running there in fourth as we shuffle to the 99 truck above. So we're back to Mark Whitley. He has been running these guys down, got about a 3-second gap behind Logan Threlkeld. So Mark Whitley had that incident with Lucas Lyons there about 5 laps ago, trying to run these guys back down. And you know, Lucas Lyons does not want to see Mark Whitley back up to his rear end by the end of this race.
Oh, exactly. That's why he got around Threlkeld when he did. Threlkeld made that mistake, and Lucas Lyons is like, thank you, you deal with him now. As we're taking a look at Brandon Wallace fighting for position with Jamie Libke back here for the 6th spot.
Yeah, and that battle looks like it's heating up. Jamie Libke right behind that 99, seeing if he can see any weakness back there as these guys go through the last couple of turns here at Portland. I was just looking at the chat here. So, of course, Threlkeld's got a fan there. Somebody's rooting for Threlkeld to win this race, but we'll see. He's currently running in third, and he can't make any mistakes. He's going to have to hope that McWhorter makes a mistake.
Yep, and he has been hard-pressed to do very much of that. The lead has come down a little bit. Lucas Lyons looking at 5.2 second gap to McWhorter. I wonder if there was a little bit of a miscue with McWhorter going through the more technical section here. We're on board with Logan Threlkeld going through the section back here. Doug Bacedo stopped on track just on the exit of the corner onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, Lucas Lyons has made up some time as we ride along with Threlkeld here, but Lucas Lyons has made up some time, got about a 5.5 second gap between him and the leader, McWhorter. So Lucas Lyons is making up some time. As I said, I'm kind of amazed. If he's new to this track, he certainly showed some discipline, and you don't see that truck slip sliding around like we did early in the race. He actually looks very smooth going around the triple apex here, headed towards the cheap seat. He's got this sharp left-hander as he heads towards the cheap seats. He was really loose here. This is where Logan Threlkeld always put a lot of pressure on him, but he looks like he's really cleaned it up here.
That's what you're talking about. Learning from the people around you. He was fighting with Threlkeld for about 10 laps during the center, or during the beginning portion of this race, through that exact section, and it looks like he's almost taken the exact line that he was doing Threlkeld was doing before. So Lyons up 5 spots from the beginning of this race, and that the lunge at the start has been a big part of that, but his overall pace that's been improving, and he's been able to keep it up front, have been able to maintain that.
Yeah, and speaking of maintain that gap, Logan Threlkeld is maintaining the gap, but doesn't seem to be pulling too much time back down on Lucas Lyons. So Lucas Lyons made up only a tenth that last lap, or 0.2 on Joseph McWhorter. So he's making up a little bit of time, but I wonder too if McWhorter is saving tires a little bit, saying, you know what, I'm just going to mind this gap and keep an eye on Lucas Lyons. Meanwhile, you know, the biggest threat will be Mark Whitley back there in the 74 truck for both these guys, Logan Threlkeld and Lucas Lyons, because that guy was bad fast tonight. And if he can get back up to Threlkeld and even Lucas Lyons, you know he's going to put all kinds of pressure, especially on Lucas.
Oh, absolutely. Mark Whitley is still fighting for. He may be trying to seal the championship here tonight. I haven't been able to take a look at the math this week, but there is a pretty high chance that if he does end up winning this race, as we see Brandon Wallace looping it out of turns 11 and 12 and getting back on track, he's able to get it righted out on the front straightaway, but that surrenders a position to Mark Cofield.
Yeah, and if you remember, he was racing Jamie Libke earlier in there, so that race is now over. He's going to have to reset and try to work his way back up. And he's only got about 12 laps to do it. 11 laps to go. We got 11 laps to go. As we go back with Whitley here in the 74 truck, as he is running down Threlkeld, just now about a second and a half behind him. You can see him slowly closing in. That Silverado's going to be getting big in the back of Threlkeld's truck.
Yep, 74, man on a mission, driving angry from the incident that happened with Lucas Lyons, trying to chase down Logan Threlkeld. His last lap is the only truck on track in the 1:15. He is almost a second faster than McWhorter in the front of this field, and he is driving his heart out to try and catch up to the podium spots.
And these guys are going to be driving when he catches the back of Threlkeld. You know Threlkeld's going to not give it up easily. So, you know, there could be the potential that 74 truck ended in the grass again. So he's got to be careful trying to get around these guys. But he's really closing the gap as they're on the backstretch here going into 9 and 10. And he's going to close right up to that back bumper of Threlkeld as they round the final corner here, turn 12 and onto the straightaway to see if he gets a run here. Goes to the outside, trying to get the power down, little sideways. Doesn't look like he has a run that he'll need to get into one.
Better exit for the 69 as we have 10 laps to go. Lucas Lyons having closed down on McWhorter by another couple tenths of a second. Quick lockup by the 74, trying to snake through this opening chicane here with the 69 and Logan Threlkeld fighting for that third spot.
And that was an impressive lockup. He had that whole truck sideways. I don't know if you noticed it, but that whole truck was sideways, and I thought he was going to get in the back of Threlkeld, but he managed good braking discipline there and was able to keep it off Threlkeld, and still going to put all kinds of pressure here as they go through this left-hander towards the cheap seats.
And once we get to the cheap seats, we're going to be exiting into that right-hander through the S's onto the back straightaway. Logan Threlkeld able to take a little more of a narrow line there. Wraps it around. That's Eldon Stewart that's looped himself around back further back again. He's currently in the 11th spot. He's out of the way of the lead here as the 74 of Mark Whitley making a move to the outside of Logan Threlkeld. He's going to have the position inside on the corner here. He takes it through the he takes it through the curbs. Logan Threlkeld misses the corner and surrenders third spot to Mark Whitley.
Oh, wow, that was exciting there. My heart stopped there when Threlkeld got in the grass there. I wasn't sure he was going to be able to get it wound up and thought he might come back across the track, but good job there to Threlkeld for not doing that. That gives that spot to Whitley. Now he can set his sights on probably the battle that is going to be pretty exciting of the night, and that's Whitley and Lucas Lyons having a rematch in 1 and 2.
Major props to everybody in our top 4 that has put on a hell of a show for us tonight. We got Mark Cofield off track once again. That might surrender, or that it looked like he was in the middle of either a battle with Brandon Wallace, but he makes his turn, exits onto the corner, and the back end steps out from under him. He tries to correct it. Brandon Wallace gets around safely, and he narrowly avoids contact with the tire barrier there.
Yeah, it does a good job. We haven't seen any hard contact tonight, so you know, this speedway is actually pretty good about that as we watch him come around. And we're back on Threlkeld on the backstretch here, losing time to Whitley, trying to get the hammer down, but going into 9 and 10, Whitley, he's got his sight set on Lucas Lyons. Lucas Lyons is like set him back a little bit, although, you know, you can make the argument that the 74 truck put himself back there with that first spin early in the race. So, but you know, he wants to get to that back quarter panel of Lucas Lyons.
Yeah, last lap through, Mark Whitley and Lucas Lyons were running identical. This lap, as they had just crossed the start-finish line, is where we've got 8 laps to go here. Mark Whitley once again into the 116 bracket, almost 0.7 of a second faster than Lucas Lyons. He is hunting.
Yeah, and Threlkeld is right behind him. Surprisingly, Threlkeld made up a little bit of time there. I don't know how he did it, but yeah, as we go look alongside there with Threlkeld somehow ran him back down through all that. So Threlkeld has picked up the pace as well. So Lucas Lyons might feel all kinds of heat between these two trucks as well.
Yep, the only disadvantage with that is they've got another lap truck in between them. I believe that's the 573 of O'Connor that they're going to run into, even if they decide to try and make a move towards Lucas Lyons.
Yeah, speaking of Lucas Lyons, though, we haven't talked in the last couple of laps about him, but he has made up some time. He's just about 4 seconds behind our leader here, probably by the time they cross the start-finish line. So Lucas Lyons is making inroads, but man, he's only got 7 more laps to get to the back bumper of McWhorter. I'm not sure he's going to have that kind of speed. We'll have to wait and see. But I guarantee you who does have that kind of speed, but probably just not enough time, and that's Whitley.
Joseph McWhorter ran a 1:17.0, but Lucas Lyons with a 1:16.3 that time, 7/10 faster than the leader. The gap has dropped down to 3.4 seconds. Does Lyons have a little more in it to try and take it to McWhorter toward the end here?
Yeah, it's curious, and like I said, I don't know if McWhorter's saving tires, knowing that this might come down to a battle towards the end. The other thing that these guys probably got in the back of their mind is a caution could potentially come out. Cautions are turned out, although we haven't had any cautions. The caution still could come out, and if you're McWhorter, you're thinking to yourself, well, I've got a nice gap here. Let me save the tires so I don't have to come onto pit lane, and that might be what McWhorter's thinking.
Yep, thinking strategy over comfort here. He's had the lead for a majority of the back half of this race after that green flag pit cycle. Lucas Lyons having broke into the three underneath the 3-second gap mark there, just momentarily crossing the start finish line with 6 to go. Is Joseph McWhorter. He's got the 88 of Sean Kaiser in danger of going a lap down right in front of him.
Yeah, and that 72 truck got a little sideways going into 1. So, and then he's, like you said, he's got the lap traffic just ahead of him that could play a factor here. And Lucas Lyons is actually praying for that truck of Sean Kaiser to kind of get in the way a little bit, as the Sean Kaiser almost goes off track there. So, would have been a free pass for the 72 truck, but right now it's not free, as the 72 truck's closing in on that lap truck, and this could hold up and allow Lucas Lyons to close in even closer.
If he got a little bit closer on the front straightaway, I think that might have been a little bit more of a factor. But as we go through the cheap seats, once you get onto the back straightaway, McWhorter is going to try and get around him using the momentum and the tire saving that he has put in there. The 88's going to try and fight to keep himself on the lead lap, but I don't think I would fight too hard if I was in his position.
No, not this late in the race. There isn't a whole lot to be gained. Oh man, the 72 truck, McWhorter totally sideways. And he hasn't gotten around that lap truck now. As they go into the straightaway, we'll see if that lap truck lets him by. That's Sean Kaiser just ahead of him. Not yet. So Sean Kaiser got the throttle down just ahead of him, trying to stay. Oh, there you go. He pulls off to the inside there. It's going to let our leader go.
Lucas Lyons was able to make up 0.5 of a second through that section when McWhorter went sideways. He's going to end up behind Kaiser, exiting 1, 2, and 3 here as Lyons is continuing his charge, 2.2 seconds back on McWhorter with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, and now he's got the lap truck of Kaiser to deal with, about in the same place when we started talking about McWhorter dealing with Sean Kaiser here. But Sean Kaiser was really considerate, so I expect the same thing to happen with our second place driver here. As you can see there, Lucas Lyons get by on the inside. Sean Kaiser does the polite thing, the gentlemanly thing, and lets him by with 5 to go.
Yep, Kaiser lets him by to the inside. Mark Whitley is still trying to keep the wheels underneath him. He's holding down 3rd position. Logan Threlkeld 11.5 seconds back from our leader, holding down 4th. As they get into the cheap seat section, a little bit of a slide on exit, but Threlkeld keeps it straight.
Yeah, the thing about Threlkeld, I think he starts off strong on fresh tires, but then as soon as the tires get worn, he really struggles with that truck. So. And plus, he's probably trying to drive the wheels off of her right now, especially after being able to jump. If you remember at the very first lap, he was able to jump into the lead. Speaking of jumping to the lead, so we're jumping up to McWhorter as he crosses the line. 4 to go. Got some more lap traffic. Got the 99 truck of Brandon Wallace just ahead of him. Brandon Wallace has been struggling a little bit here. We've seen a couple off tracks with that red 99 truck. Back at looking at lap traffic, maybe playing a factor for these guys up front.
Yep, the 72 able to stretch that lead out a little more because of a miscue by Lucas Lyons, but it looks like everything's sort of straightened out now. Into that same technical section, the 72 trying to get around the 99 of Brandon Wallace. I don't think this one's going to be too easy for him, though.
No, I don't suspect too. And this is kind of the worst place for me that I want to pass a truck is here as I go through the cheap seats. It looks like Brandon Wallace is just going to let him go. So it does a gentlemanly thing too. It's just how much time did McWhorter lose there, and how easy is Lucas Lyons going to be able to get around that 99 truck?
It's dropped the gap back down to 2.2 seconds. Lucas Lyons still in hunting distance at the 72. One miscue by our leader, and it's going to bring the 17 right back into contention.
And this track is very easy to do. A miscue is a simple spin into the grass, usually no damage, but it could happen very easily. 99 truck almost has a moment there trying to let the Lucas Lyons go by on the inside there, but we'll see if Lucas Lyons made up any more time this by as they cross the start-finish line.
A very classy very classy move, however, as we've seen the lead come down to 1.6 seconds as they go through 1, 2, and 3. Lucas Lyons having an 0.8 of a second better lap on McWhorter there. McWhorter is still trying to run himself away from Lucas Lyons, and it looks like the 17 might be catching up a little bit.
I think he is. 17 definitely is catching up. Only 1.4 seconds current in live timing right now behind him. And you know, Lucas is feeling hungry right now. Finished second the other night in the GT3 series. Currently running second. Would like to see that trophy here at Portland tonight. That'll be quite an accomplishment. We'll have to hand it off to Lucas Lyons if he can get it done. But he's got about 2.5 laps to get it done as they get down the backstretch here by the slough, really loose. He's got the hammer down. Let's see if he can make up a little bit more time on McWhorter.
Yep, exiting the corner, turning through turn 9, then through 10, 11, and 12. As he gets onto the front straightaway, it'll be 2 to go. Will Lucas Lyons be able to chase down Joseph McWhorter and play spoiler? 72 takes the popsicle sticks, trying to make his way through with a clean lap, 1.5 seconds ahead of the 17.
Yeah, gained a half a second that lap. So if he can get another half a second, he'll be, well, I guess 1 second behind. He's going to need a little bit more than that with this 2 to go. He needs to gain a full second this lap to have any shot at it, or McWhorter's going to have to make a mistake. So, and you know McWhorter's feeling it. McWhorter a little bit sideways as they go through the triple apex there. So McWhorter feeling the pressure now. I know he's seeing that Lucas Lyons approach him in the mirror and trying to put the hammer down. Couldn't quite get it done. And so that's going to allow Lucas Lyons to close up even closer.
He's chasing down the number 97 of Mark Cofield as well, the truck that is the last truck on the lead lap. Lucas Lyons making the exit of the corner there as they go onto the back straight. 1.2 seconds now.
Yeah, and Lucas got a little sideways there, so I have a feeling he lost a little bit of time as they entered the backstretch there, but he might be able to make it up in this braking zone. Very hard braking zone going into 9 and 10. Got a lap truck there, as you mentioned. Cofield trying to stay
he goes
on the lead.
wide!
Yeah, that. Oh, and he's going to go wide again. Up on the curb, Lucas Lyons right behind him. We got 1 lap to go. This is the final lap. The white flag will be out this time. Lucas Lyons in second place. Joseph McWhorter in the lead. Can Lucas Lyons get it done tonight?
Lucas Lyons doesn't think about making that move into turn 1, 2, and 3. He's going to ride the bumper. He's going to put the bumper on the 72 of McWhorter through the exit of 2 and 3. Puts the hammer down, getting down the straightaway as they wrap around through 4 and 5.
He's letting McWhorter know that he's there. You know, he's only got a few more corners. He's got about 5 more corners to get this done. Really strong in the braking zone after turn 8, and that's coming up here. So Lucas Lyons, if you remember, this was the weakest part of the track for him. Now he's looking super strong in here. Going through the cheap seats here. Next turn by, going to make this right-hander and up onto the backstretch.
Yep, once they make their way through the chicane here, they got Mark Cofield in front. A little bit of toe, a little squirrely off the curb for the 72 of McWhorter. Lyons doesn't have very many more turns to make his move. He's going to try and make the, he's going to try and get the toe off of the 72. They pull off into turn 9. Lucas Lyons is sending it, trying to hook it up to get to the back of the 72. Oh, pushes it, locks up, wraps around. The 72 is able to exit onto the front straightaway. The checkered flag is in the air. The 72, Joseph McWhorter, takes another win on the season at Portland.
He's celebrating that one. That was a close one. I was really surprised Caulfield being there. That was a pretty brazen move. Lucas Lyons finished in second. Made a heck of a move there. Tried to send it in there, but nothing doing. Ends up with that second two nights in a row. Well, I guess every other night he's going to finish second. So Lucas Lyons was second. Mark Whitley back there, I guess, finishes in third with Logan Threlkeld back there in fourth.
What a show tonight. What a run. What a finish. We didn't expect that toward the end there, did we? There was a 5-second gap that ended up coming down to the final few sets of corners on the last lap.
I actually can't believe that Lucas Lyons did that. That was a heck of a run. Hats off to Lucas Lyons. Obviously, our race winner McWhorter deserves all the credit for getting that win, but Lucas Lyons, man, he gave us a show tonight from the start of the green flag or the drop of the green flag till now. It's been nothing but a blast to call this race tonight.
Joseph McWhorter burns it down for the fans in the cheap seats. Mark Whitley battling back from adversity to finish third. We're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, we're going to have your race rundown of the unofficial results and the interview from our top three. We'll be right back.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
And we're back here at Portland with an exciting finish with our race winner. Joseph McWhorter brings it home at Portland tonight. Let's go over our final results. Joseph McWhorter with a commanding victory here tonight with a win, but Lucas Lyons, no small feat to finish second, actually put a heck of a show on trying to get that win from McWhorter. Mark Whitley will finish in third, had some struggles tonight, had a couple off tracks, ended up back there in third, but made a nice comeback. Logan Throkeld, one of the fastest guys in practice, led almost the first lap, but then after that, kind of had some struggles the rest of the night. Ran up front most of the night, still a decent finish in the fourth place position. Tyler Justice in that 33 truck had some damage, got it repaired, ended up rounding out that top five. Jamie Lipke finishes sixth in the 16 truck. Great job for him. 97 truck, Mark Cofield finishes in seventh. Sean Kaiser will finish in eighth. Brandon Wallace will finish that 99 truck in ninth place. And there's too many nines there, I should say. And then O'Connor in the 573 truck rounds out the top 10. And then Eldon Stewart will finish in 11th, one lap down, it looks like. And Corin Smith, she'll finish in 12th, while Macedo will finish 13th, 22 laps down. And Charles Albert, who didn't actually start the race tonight, will finish last in the 13th position. So now that we got our race results out of the way, I'll tell you what, Jacob, why don't you bring our race winner up and let's have a chat with him.
Yep, and the excitement is just waiting to continue. Joseph McWhorter, our race winner, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
That was a heck of a drive from you from the beginning to the end. At the and the opening lap, scuffle that we had through the first chicane, did you think that everything was going to start going a little bit south from there once you and Mark ended up getting shuffled a bit further back?
No, I was like, well, I had an issue where I couldn't get in a second gear. So I was just kind of, whenever I finally got into third gear, because I don't know, I've been having an issue with iRacing lately where like I'll shift, but it's like it's not detecting the shift, or I'm either shifting too fast for iRacing to recognize it. So I went into second, with the clutch and everything, and it revved to the moon, and then I panicked and put it in third, so that way I could try and have some kind of forward momentum. And at that point, I seen everybody absolutely hauling butt into the corner. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and just watch how this goes. Saw everything go haywire. Saw Logan get the lead, Mark second. I somehow came out back in third after getting through that whole shuffle. And then Logan had a huge moment into the S's. Mark got the lead, and then I was falling behind him. Me and him were just chit chatting, and he almost lost it going into the S's just like Logan did. And I said, you know what? I think you're going to bust your butt tonight, and I think this is exactly where it's going to happen. And then we get through turn one and over there into that like triple right hander, and Mark goes, nope, I'm going to do it right here, and just spins in front of me. Oh man! And then it was just kind of running some laps and everything, and then just to throw a little bit more fuel on the fire, my lovely VR or iRacing, one or the other, decided to drop my frames down to like 25 frames per second for like the last like 12 laps. So that's why I was just bleeding time, because it looked like I was in a 1940s movie, just, old school, just film style. Couldn't see anything. So it was a very
I
long race.
was I was about to ask you that last lap charge from Lucas Lyons with all the moving that he has done tonight. What went through your head, like getting through the middle section that's tripped him up, just seeing him all the way up to your back bumper? Did you think that it
Well,
was had from there?
I no, I knew he was coming, and then I had a big moment going into the S's myself, because my frames came back like with where I had that big moment with like two to go, and that's why he was able to get like right to me. And I knew, since I had my frames back and I could see, as long as I was just smooth for one more lap, I would have been fine. And it ended up working out. I seen him with a big move, and then Mark. I don't know if Mark was just confused on whether or not to let us by, or what, or maybe he had a moment going through there. But he checked up in front of me, and I dove it to the inside as Lucas came to give me a shot, and he missed me. And I think he almost hit the wall, or did hit the wall. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, he was lights out fast tonight.
Yes, sir. And as our final thoughts, who do you have to thank for putting you on the top step of the podium?
Yeah, I want to thank Red Camel Racing. They've been an awesome partner of mine for a really long time. Go check them out for any of your like fire suits, shoes, helmets, whatever you need for racing. Go check them out at redcamelracing.com. 29 graphics for the beautiful paint scheme you get to see each and every week. Uh, Outlier Speedco, we have a 15% off if you use OSCNEW15. That's OSCNEW15 at checkout. You get 15% off on your order of setups with them. I think that goes for both like individual setups and season long setups. So go check them out. Outlierspeedcode.com. Um, Teammate Mark for an awesome run tonight. You guys for putting on the broadcast. All the drivers for a really good job. The lap traffic was really good tonight. That was really good to see. Everybody was putting in some hard work, and being courteous. So big shout out to all those guys. I know I've been very vocal on that. They did a very good job tonight, so I'm gonna get credit where credit's due, and ready to get into Fontana next week and wrap this season up.
Yes, sir. We appreciate your time. Thank you, and have a good race, or have a good
Thanks,
weekend.
thanks, buddy.
Sir.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Joseph McWhorter, our race winner. I guess we're going to talk to Lucas Lyons next, our second place finisher. So we'll see if we can drag Lucas up here. Lucas Lyons, I've got one major question for you. Well, how much experience do you have on this track?
That was my first ever race, and I only ran 3 laps of practice.
That's what I thought. I know you did some of our graphics for tonight's race, which it looks absolutely awesome tonight. But I knew you had just bought the track, and I was watching you during practice, and it looked like you were struggling. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be ugly. But man, did you put in a run? By the end of that race, you were the man to beat. And if it wasn't for that little bit of a gap that McWhorter had on you, I think you'd have definitely had him if you had another lap. So talk me through that. When you came off of pit lane, that one pit stop that we had, you were about 8 seconds back. Did you think you were going to be able to run him down?
Honestly, no. McWhorter and Mark were pretty lights out in the beginning, and me and Logan had a pretty good battle. No, he was kind of upset because he felt like I was holding him back. But they were pretty lights out. I was just kind of trying to learn the track, but not be too slow. Keep looking at their lap time, see what they were running.
Well,
And
that explains Santa's saltiness, I guess, tonight.
yeah,
He had to watch you learn the track while he was following your bumper.
maybe just a little bit. I mean, I've watched a few Xfinity races here, so I kind of know the track layout. Um, so I'm not like completely green to it, but this is my first time actually driving on it. But I would just kept slowly pushing more and more and more, and I finally got to a point where I was running faster than him, and then pit stops happened. Logan went down and Mark went down. I was going to come down that lap if Logan didn't come down, but I didn't like where I was positioned, so I ran one more lap to have a clean entry going into pit road. Then came back out and tried to get the run on Mark. I don't know. I thought he was going to go out a little bit wider, and I've apologized to him. Didn't mean to get into him. I don't know if it was my fault, his, or what have you, but contact was made. He went around, and then I just started pushing the exact same like I did towards the end of the run and running about half a second to 7/10 of a second faster. Actually ran the fastest lap of the race, and just try to keep that going, and then finally got up to Joseph. He made a few mistakes, which allowed me to catch up, and then just wasn't expecting that checkup in the final corner. Uh, they were a lot faster through the technical parts, and I was a lot faster through the hard braking zones.
Well, you put on a heck of a show. You made it really exciting for all three of us here in the broadcast booth tonight. Hats off to that run. I mean, it's got to feel like a victory. You had a second place last Friday night in the GT3 series, and now you match that up with the second place here tonight at Portland. It looks like you're becoming a really good road racer.
Yeah, if you look at tonight, it probably should have been sponsored by Go Bowling. At Watkins, I normally like to go 3 wide, so I try to do the same thing, and just wasn't expecting to have to break that soon because we're all going slower into that corner, and just overshot it, locked up the brakes. Luckily, I didn't get into Logan or anyone like that. But yeah, I mean, this is a fun track. I like the setup because it's from Watkins, and I'm a big Watkins fan, so I kind of understand how it drives. But yeah, it was a lot of fun out there.
Well, with that, who do you have to thank for getting that second place finish tonight?
I want to thank Top Tier, Coalfield Asphalt Refinishing, Southeast Tutoring, Honor Home Loans. If you need a button box, use SM Racing Products. Use code Bandits at checkout. Saves you a little bit, helps us out. And you all for putting this on. I had it on in the background, and it was entertaining to listen to while I'm trying to concentrate and had music going. My ADHD was just going on, and got zoned in.
You're
And
not supposed to be watching the race while you're racing. That's
I mean,
I guess it works for you.
yeah, I mean, you couldn't tell I was watching.
Nope, I couldn't.
Oh,
Usually I can tell because guys will crash.
yeah.
They call it the
but
commentator's curse, but I actually believe it's just because they're watching the broadcast while the race is going on, while they're
see,
trying to race.
here's how I counter the broadcaster's curse. I just have the broadcast up, so when I hear my name, I push slower. So
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed to work. But I
Yeah.
also want to thank one of my buddies who was telling me lap times between me and Joseph, and telling me I was faster this lap, the gap behind, and all that stuff. So it's a lot of fun out there. Hopefully, it gets put on the schedule next season. I'll come race it, and also hopefully it gets put on the IndyCar broadcast because I think it would be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we'll see you next week at California for the final race of the season, and congrats again to that second place.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we're going to have this is going to be an eventful interview with our third place finisher, Mark Whitley. This is Jake in the booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
So you had a very eventful race tonight, and I'm glad to be talking to you. We almost didn't after a couple of incidents that came through in the center with between you and Lucas Lyons. That early spin at the beginning, but you were able to make your way back up to the front, led a majority of the front of the race there. Have you had a lot of time to work with this track at all?
No, I just bought the track before, I think right when practice started, so I had about 45 minutes to run with it. So I think probably the first spin was showing my inexperience here because I overdrove the corner just a tiny bit, downshifted a little bit too late, kicked the rear out, and it just kind of was in a lazy drift and spun out and was able to keep back going. But it was kind of a really bad spot to lose momentum because it was a really kind of high speed part of the track. So I got passed by, I think I went back to fourth at that point, and tires got heated, and I feel like I was faster than them guys, but it was just the tires were heated up. So every time I tried to make a move, it was just tires would get mad at me, and or they were just running the perfect line, so I couldn't really get a good run on them. Um, Actually, Logan had the same idea I did. I had to pit on the lap we did because I was going to pit, and then he called out pitting. So I was trying to jump him in the pits to maybe try to get away from him, and then didn't really work out. But it almost was making a move on Logan there after we came out of the pits, and I think I just went a bit too easy. Was trying to be too conservative getting into one. I didn't want to put anybody in a bad spot, and he was able to get back underneath me for the second corner, and then Lucas was just there. I didn't expect him to be there. So that's how we passed him come out of the pits. So I didn't expect him to be anywhere near us. And then I was trying to do a cross under on Logan and just got took his nose off, I guess. Like I just wasn't expecting him to be there. And after that, I was just kind of driving mad because I was just like, I felt like I didn't do anything wrong at that point. I hadn't looked at the replay. So I think the tires finally got mad at me there the last like 5 or 6 laps because I lost ground to the leaders, and it was just was able to get back to third, and that's making one really big mental error and then getting caught up in another incident. Not too bad.
Yeah, despite all the issues that you ran into tonight, whether it was on you or not, you being able to battle back to that third position, not lose as much as you could have on a lot of those incidents that we would have seen. It really brings into the conversation the thought of experience and fundamentals when it comes to road racing as opposed to running a full schedule of ovals. Do you have a lot of experience with road racing?
I wouldn't say a whole lot, but I also wouldn't say a little. Like I feel like I'm kind of intermediate when it comes to experience. The experience I do have has been really crazy. Between like sports car racing, like the 24-hour Daytona, and driving a lot of these. Learned a lot from a lot of other guys I've raced with over the years about how to drive these stock cars, whether it be these trucks or the Xfinity, any like NASCAR Cup or NASCAR stock car type of car on these. So I feel like I have a decent amount of experience with that, and it's really refreshing. I feel like it's breaks up the almost monotony. I don't know if that's the right word, but all the ovals you go here and going left and right, braking, gassing, like judging the corners, like no two corners are the same. So I feel like it's a really good just change up every now and then.
It's a great equalizer from an all oval schedule, in my opinion. And finally, who do you have to thank to putting your truck on the third spot of the podium?
A big shout out Harpoon Design, putting all my awesome paint schemes together. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. He does awesome work. He does quick work. So he's got a form you can fill out. So just go on his website, fill out the form, and he'll get back to you pretty quick. My other sponsor, Java.gg, they're the number one online marketplace for gamers. Whether you're looking for a whole new system or just an upgrade or somewhere in between, they got what you're looking for. Check them out at Java.gg. Everybody here at the league, all the league sponsors, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, SimMotion, Invets, all they do a great job helping with the league, and we wouldn't be here without them. And it's really nice to really appreciate being able to run out here with these guys, and it's a pretty awesome league here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next week for Auto Club.
Sounds good, guys.
Well, Jacob, that was pretty exciting here at Portland. I got to say, that's probably one of the best races that we've seen all season. It kind of, it was a small field, but these guys really put on a show for us tonight.
Yes, I was anticipating this race as being a little more of a pace breaker from what we had seen with the oval races. I didn't know what we were going to expect from the small field, but it put on one hell of a show, and I am very happy to have been able to be here for it.
Absolutely, that was pretty intense. Portland, it delivered tonight, so thanks a lot. So we look at our summer schedule. We got one more race. We're going to crown a champion here on August 3rd. We're going to be in Fontana, California, for the final race of the season here on V Speed. What do you think that race is going to be like, Jacob?
It is going to be all-out war. I imagine a lot of people are thinking that they're going to have a very good shot at making the best finish that they can at Fontana. We might see a new winner. We've seen a lot of wins come from the top end of the. We've seen a lot of wins come from the top end of the standings, but I think that we might have a surprise next week.
Absolutely. Well, as we close out the broadcast, let's give one more shout out to our sponsors here. So, shout out to our title sponsor, Invets, helping Indiana vets in Indiana, of all things. Also, been brought to you by Lincoln Tech, putting your potential to work. Also, Save 22, fighting first responder and veteran suicide. If you're struggling, let's talk about it. And then finally, on behalf of all of us here at V Speed, it's been an exciting broadcast. On behalf of myself, Ken Huber, and
I'm Jacob Blanke.
everyone have a good night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.